This is Candace. I'm from Candy for My Soul. I started my business when probably about 5 years ago, and I have enjoyed it thoroughly. There's been some bumps along the way, but without the bumps, you don't appreciate all the successes, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, we have lots to teach you if you're interested in learning crocheting, knitting, pyrography, the wood burning. We do stuff like that. And something that I did, and I didn't even realize that I was doing that, it was a thing, was some amigurumi. And I picked up this book because I thought, oh, those are cute. Those are nice little sea animals. I thought, oh, little kids, they'd love that, with some baby items that you could sell or something like that. And anyway, I had made some that were sewing pin cushions, right? And they were, actually, I'll show you, it's right here in front of me. Here's one I made, and it's a cute little rooster, and he's a pin cushion. And I just made him because I thought, oh, this would be kind of fun to make. Ended up being a lot of work, and I'm not selling it. So anyway, he's my little pin cushion. We have little coasters, the wooden coasters that we do drawing. I shouldn't say we. I do drawing on, and just there's so much. We use a sewing machine, serger, so you can see sometimes in some of the things that I say make a slip knot or make a slip stitch, or it's referring to some other form of media that we use to be creative, right? Love the wool, yarn, and the different colors of yarn. And I like to support entrepreneurship, and there's a nice lady in town who has an awesome shop that I love to go and buy from her. I also buy online as well. Then there's some other stuff that I wanted to show you. I have a sister who does lots of felting and painting and almost anything. I'm just trying to think of something else that she does. She does leather work, does wonderful leather work. I can link you to her store, and she's also in BC. She has a lot of talent, and it's neat to see what other people can do. Or, hey, that's really gorgeous. Can you show me how? Or, hey, can I buy that? Stuff like that. But anyway, we got tons of stuff. And if you're interested in anything that we are not, or we haven't said that you would like to learn, if we know how to do it, we'll show you how. I mean, rather than taking a class that costs money, you might as well just look up YouTube, right? I am very excited to be able to show you lots of stuff. It goes well for you when you're listening, and put comments in. I'm happy to answer them. And if you want to subscribe, or you just want to, hey, you like it, hit the thumbs up. That's great. I'm just starting out and would love to have this go for quite a long time. Okay? Have a great day, and let's get started. I'm here to show you how to make a very small dog sweater for like a 4 or 5 pound dog or puppy, Chihuahua or Yorkie or something of that size. We will be making this as we go along, and it's a very smooth pattern. You end up with only one yarn at the end to tie in, so it works well from the beginning to the end. Some of the other patterns that I did look at and that I did do had many pieces that I had to sew together, and it kind of frustrated me because there's so many of these little pieces that I had to tie in that, I don't know, I just didn't care for it, even though the pattern was nice. So I created my own from the beginning to the end, and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. So I have now developed one where there's just only one yarn at the end. So that's really awesome. Anyway, we could get started. Okay, I have a 3.5 millimeter or E crochet hook. And I'm just going to make a knot. Just kind of go around your fingers and pull it through. And then try to get the knot to be small. And then I just go like that, and I'm good. Other people do it other ways. Whatever you're comfortable with, it's good. So we'll chain stitch. I think 16 is our number. So we'll chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, we don't need 20. 16 was good. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet. Single crochet into each chain. Now the second chain, we don't go into the one that we just did the last loop. We don't go into that one. We go into this one. So take the loop, go into this one, and you'll notice there should be 2 strands on the top that you're going through. Okay? And yarn over, pull it through, and then just yarn over again and pull that through. So we'll do that again. It's just moving on me here. So then we go in here, make sure you get 2, which we do, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and pull it through, and you do that till you get to the end. There, I only had 1 stitch, 1 slip, and then we go up, turn around, and now what we're going to do, you know how you see the V's on there? You take the back side of the V. So we took and we went underneath into the 2 before. Now we're going to take the back side. And the reason is it creates a pattern that looks like you have knit and purled it. Okay, so you remember when I said, okay, I'll meet you when you get to the length that you needed, right? So I measured my dog's head. I have a little Yorkie, and I went from under the chin to just by the front of the ears, which would be the biggest part that the sweater would have to go over, and that was 8.5 inches. So I did 7.5 because stretchy, 7.5. So I did 7.5. Now I stretched it, so I don't know if it's 7.5 anymore. But yeah, okay. So I made a boo-boo on here. I wonder if you can see the boo-boo. Can you see the boo-boo? I made it bigger. Somehow I picked up another stitch for this length of I mean, that many inches anyway. Anyway, not a problem. If this happens to you, do not worry. This, you put this on the part where the neck starts, because then it kind of blends in and you can't even tell. So anyway, I was mentioning to you that when you did the stitch the way I was telling you to do, take the back part of the V and do it, it looks like it's actually been knit, purl, right? So, and it makes it real stretchy. So it's kind of cool. So then, now here was where we started. And then when you get to the end, make sure that the last one where the loop is matches the same end on this side. Okay, don't stop over here. Just do another row or undo a row, and then um, put these two together. So I don't think there's a a good or bad side to it because it's just yarn. So here we are, and now we're going to. So you got to match up the ends there, not engines. Start your engines. Okay, here we go. We're going to go from right to left, just like we did before. So what I'm going to do is go through here. It's the corner. Take this guy, the loop, and just bring it through that, and then tie a little thing. So there's your tied up. Okay, so now we're going to take the next stitch on this side, which is this one. Okay, there's two on the top, and now you're going to take on this side what is this one? This one. So then what you're going to do is take both of them, and you're going to pull both of them through, and then go like this. Okay, so we will do that again. Just kind of make sure that I might have one more stitch on the one end. I don't know. I don't think I do, but anyway, we're going to go on that stitch. So you have two and that one. Okay, and then we're going to take both of them and pull through. Yep, and then we're going to pull through again. There we go. Tighten up a little bit. Take the next one. Okay, there we are. And it's important to get all of them because this is where the tension is going over the neck. And you want to keep it solid, nothing comes apart or anything, right? So I'm just trying to keep that one last bit in. There we are. We don't need to do any more with that one then. That little tail at the beginning, it's just right there. It's all good. You can hear it going. Oopsie, here we go. There's the one. Keep this lined up so you don't get to the end and then you find, oh, I've got too many. Anyway, just go over, make sure you're into at least two on the top. It's funny, hey, sometimes it's hard to see, but here's this end. And now I am going to go to there. Okay. Okay, you know how I said, if you make a boo-boo, just put that on the side that goes towards the front legs, right? The neck, which is right. And if you can, make sure that when you have this tag at the beginning and then you end it here, that's good because then when you're tying it up, you can do it together. But that's if this is straight. If I made a boo-boo or if you made a boo-boo, make it the opposite. So do one more row or take out one more row. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take one out because this is big enough for her. And I'm taking it out only because the boo-boo part has to be on that side, right? So I am going to, here's the boo-boo part. So what I'm going to do is just approach it a little differently. So this side now has that. Okay. And now we're going to take this one, this one. Yeah. Okay. Keep them lined up. And there we go. Make sure you catch them. When you're done, you can check and see if there's any that you miss, and then just kind of pull it back and just redo. It's not hard to redo because you can do checks along the way, and then you don't have to like undo half of it because, oh, look what I did over here. I didn't look back. But it works good. Yeah. Now see, I wasn't watching that, right? I was thinking about something else. So now I go back like that. See? No big deal, right? Okay, you hold it there with your fingers. And now I'm just gonna like that. I'm just poking it in actually. It is best to do each stitch, which is great. How are we at the end? We're doing fine at the end. There we go. See? Make mistakes as we go along and then we know how to fix them. Not an issue. There we go. So I'm at the end. Yeah, right there at the end. Put another one in there. Okay. So this is the top. This is the part where it's going to be part of the neck, shoulders. Okay, so now here's that other piece that we started with. So now we're going to open it up. Now this stays on the inside, right? So we're going to go like this. Flip it. That's on the inside. Turn your work around. Because when you're crocheting, you want what's on the face surface of what you see to be the outside. So we're going to go around once with the same single crochet. And here's where you just stick it in. There's no actual spot because this is you're working off the side. And I'm just trying to keep that little string in there. The first yarn, which is good. And there, see, not, here's one, but there's only one strand, so I try to get at least two because this is a stretchy part and most movable. You know, you're taking it on and off. You want it to be strong, but don't go too far down. Just try to stay as even as you can with it. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. I think I started my business probably about 5 years ago already. Time has gone by kind of fast. And then end up, I ended up going back to work because I needed more to do. So, but I still kept up with this because this has been, people have enjoyed it. They've liked it. They've, you know, how do you get it one just tailored to your dog, right? And especially when they're little, you can't get that in the say grocery store, in the pet store. It doesn't happen. They just don't quite fit. They're gonna fall off, or you gotta sew it. You gotta sew it kind of, well, I don't know, sew it somehow, however you can to make it fit. And it's like, oh man, why not have a really nice? sweater for your dog. It's perfect. And people have to be willing to pay for it. You spent the time, you've measured the dog, or they've measured the dog, and according to their measurements, you're going to make it. So you can always ask them, well, hey, is this going to be stretchy over their head, this measurement, or is it going to be tight? Because some people, they don't really, you can say, hey, measure this, and you just expect them to measure the way you would. They don't. I've had that experience already and had to redo things and said, well, these are the measurements. This, and you can measure the coat, and it is that. And they said, well, it doesn't fit. Well, let's redo it, but I tell you what, I'll come over and measure. And then, of course, we're out by inches, right? How did that happen? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I just keep my mouth shut and say, okay, no problem. I'll have this done in a couple days. And they go, oh, thanks. I just keep the other coat, and oh, it'll fit another little doggy. It's not a problem. And I put the effort in already, so that's all right. This is where I tied it back up. This is the inside. I'm going to go here somewhere with just a little bit more. There's two there. Just try to get two at least. Okay, so that's the beginning of the neck. Now, what we do, it goes a little faster now. So we've just sealed off the neck, and now can you tell? Not really, right? That was a little different. Oh, maybe a tiny bit, but there's no way that would even come up. Okay, so now we have done chain stitches, we have done single crochets, and a slip stitch. Now we're going to do a double crochet, but it's not really double crochet. We go like that, in, and this, and you do the two, and then you do this one, okay? And then you do it again. Yeah, that's a double crochet. Yep. I had done another one time. It looked like a double crochet, and it was like this. You go in like this, and then you just go whoop, like that. And it does look a little bit different, but I don't know what you call it, but maybe it was something I made up. I have no idea. Now, so we go through the two, and then we go through the other two. And we're not doing a slip knot here. We're not doing that because that means there'll be a gap in between. And that just not now anyway. Okay, so now we're going to go around, and each one of the little single crochets we did, and we're doing this double crochet. Okay, there we are. See? And go all the way through to the end here, and then I'll meet you back up. Okay, here we're back. So we went all the way around. My yarn is changing color. I get right to the spot where we sewed this neck up, and I got to the last single crochet, so I put that in there. I put the double crochet into the last single crochet, and now here's right where we started the double crochet. So now you just continue on into the double crochet. You're just kind of not doing a break or anything. You're just going in like that. Now, do you see that here? There's a line there. There's a piece of yarn there. You go in between that. So you yarn over. You go in there with the two loops on the top, but the other one is on the bottom still. Okay, you go in there, and then you do that, two, and then there. So now go over again, do that again, and do that, and that. And now you go around again, and I'll meet you right where
We sewed up the neck. Okay, okay.